net. W8VPV, repeater PL110.9.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2441 with a release date of Friday, August 9th, 2024 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Hams played key roles during a landslide in southern India. The threat of severe weather canceled the expedition off the coast of Scotland, and a centenarian receives a once-in-a-hundred-years honor. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2441 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, here's Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
Our top story this week takes us to southern India, where teams of ham radio operators are being credited with providing life-saving communications that help save lives amid the deadly landslides there. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, brings us that report.
With the help of vital information provided by an amateur radio operator, rescue teams rushed to evacuate people from a region devastated by landslides that began in late July in the Wayanad district of the Indian state of Cuyahoga. A VHF repeater set up on the 3rd of August by the Sultan Bathory DX Association carried location, condition, and other details to district officials as rescue efforts intensified using drones and radar. Hams relayed information to district authorities from ravaged communities after being asked by the district collector to step in and be part of the relief operations. Led by Sabu Matthew, VU2ELJ, the association's chairman, the Hams set up an amateur radio station inside the district collector's office in Calcutta. With some cell phone towers washed away by the landslides, mobile phone service was available only in a limited capacity, according to published reports. A press release from the district collector's office said that many lives were saved because of the emergency network. Officials said, and I quote, ham radio messages came to their aid and the rescue team members were able to facilitate their evacuation. End quote. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
In the U.S., the FCC is seeking a fine of $2.3 million for a New York radio station that the agency said is operating without a license. We have those details from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Charging that he ignored an FCC enforcement action late last year, the FCC has amplified its sanctions against a Bronx broadcaster, imposing a penalty of $2.3 million. The commission says that Johnny Peralta has been operating an unauthorized FM radio station in the Bronx for 6 or more years. According to the Radio World website and local media, his broadcasts as La Mia Radio on 105.7 FM are designed to serve New York's Dominican audience. Having received no response from previous enforcement actions against him, the FCC has issued a forfeiture order confirming the $2.3 million fine it's seeking. That fine was proposed last November in a notice of apparent liability by the Commission. The notice followed the FCC's documentation of antenna installations through photographs and numerous field strength measurements taken by field agents. The Commission says the broadcaster did not respond to that earlier notice. Enactment of the Pirate Act 4 years ago gave the FCC greater powers of enforcement against unlicensed broadcast radio and the ability to impose a higher fine. The Commission does not collect these fines, however. That is the responsibility of the U.S. Department of Justice, which it intends to contact within 30 days if Peralta does not respond to this latest action. According to the Radio World story, the FCC is confident this is one case that might draw more immediate attention from justice officials because of the amount of the fine. It is the highest allowable amount under the 4-year-old federal law. This is Kent Peterson, KC0. DGY.
A well-respected and seasoned CW operator in New Zealand has become a silent key. We hear about his life and contributions from Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
The love of CW was very obvious to any ham who got to know Barry Kirkwood, ZL1DD. On the air from his dream shack, Baz, as he was known, was a sought-after contact among ops on CW, especially for DX stations. Baz became a silent key on the 30th of June in Chiang Mai, Thailand, after a brief illness. Although he had lived in Thailand in 2006, he did not get a Thai call sign, operating first from the Rast club station in Bangkok, which had the call sign HS0AC. When flooding destroyed the station, Barry played a key role in getting superstation HS0ZIA on the air near Chiang Mai and often participated in contesting from there. He collected boat anchors, but as a CW op, he also loved his collection of Morse keys. He distinguished himself as an award winner many times in the NZART Sangster Shield QRP-CW contest. After learning that the original shield had been lost in the 1990s, he commissioned one to replace it in 2017. Baz was a long-time member of NZART, a member of the 5th CW Club, and founder of the popular New Zealand Straight Key Night, which is held in summer and winter. He also held the Cambodian ham radio license XU7AEL. The New Zealand call sign, known so well among Barry's contacts, was not his first. He had been assigned ZL1DR in 1953 and later was ZL1BN. After the death of a friend, Bert, who was the original holder of the call ZL1DD, Bert's family had asked Baz to take his friend's call sign as his own. Baz was 88. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
An influential figure in income operations in eastern Pennsylvania has become a silent key. We learn about him from Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
Carter Craigie, November 3 Alpha Oscar, was all about service to amateur radio. He became a well-known figure in the eastern Pennsylvania section of the ARRL, where he played a major role in shaping the emergency communications unit for Chester County, Aries, where he was the emergency coordinator from 2005 to 2007. According to Bob Wilson, W8VPV, the Eastern Pennsylvania section manager, Carter's design served as a blueprint for many other Aries units throughout the section. On the air, he was most enthusiastic about making CW contacts and operating QRP. According to his page on QRZ.com, he also volunteered at the Skywarn desk at the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Blacksburg, Virginia, where he lived most recently. Carter became a silent key on August 1st. Carter was married to Kay Craigie, N3KN, who was Eastern Pennsylvania section manager in 1986, before she became the ARRL's 15th president in 2010. Bob posted on the section website, quote, "Carter was a man of many talents and was always a gentleman and friend to so many in the amateur radio community," end quote. Carter was 86. This is Travis Lisk, N3ILS.
It's time for Amateur Radio Newsline to shine the spotlight on a very special YL this month at the Huntsville Hamfest in Alabama. Amateur Radio Newsline, Mark Abramovich, NT3V has the story.
The big day is almost here for Grace Papay, K8LG, our 2024 winner of the Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Memorial Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award. Grace, who's 18 and from Holland, Michigan, will be publicly recognized at the Huntsville Hamfest on Saturday afternoon, August 17th. Grace is the daughter of Doug Papay, K8DP, and Carrie Papay, K8CLP. She's the granddaughter of John Papay, K8YSE, a veteran operator in the ham satellite community. Grace holds an extra class license earned a year after she passed her tech test. Amateur Radio Newsline's Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, will lead the Huntsville presentation team. A commemorative plaque and gifts from award sponsors Yaesu USA, Heil Sound Limited, and Radio Waves Antenna Company will be given to Grace at that time. It's going to be a busy week for Grace as she'll be traveling to Huntsville from Cedarville University in Cedarville, Ohio, where she'll be attending freshman orientation programs. Grace begins studies in electrical engineering there this fall. Congratulations and good luck, Grace, from all of us. You will become a leading light as you receive your award on International Lighthouse and Lightship Weekend. I'm Mark Abramovich, NT3V.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the VK8MA repeater on Sundays at 7 p.m. in the Northern Territory of Australia. The FCC has approved the launch of a low Earth orbit communications array of 5 satellites on V-band that is expected to open the door for U.S. smartphones to make use of space-based cellular broadband services across the nation. The satellites have been given the okay to operate in the 37.5 to 42 gigahertz range for space-to-Earth communications, and the ranges of 47.2 to 50.2 gigahertz and 50.4 to 51.4 gigahertz for Earth-to-space communications. Approval was also given for the use of 430 to 440 megahertz for space-to-Earth and Earth-to-space transmissions 2025 to 2110 megahertz for Earth-to-space transmissions and 2200 to 2290 megahertz for space-to-Earth transmissions. The approvals are granted to Texas-based AST Space Mobile for what the company is characterizing as the largest communication array in history in low Earth orbit. A de-expedition to Scotland's Flannan Island has been called off because of threatening weather. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us about the activation the team had planned.
Despite their best hopes and plans, a team of seasoned radio operators from the UK had to call off an attempt to activate the 6th most wanted island on the air in Europe, Scotland's Flannan Islands Group. The team said bad weather posed safety hazards. The uninhabited islands carry the IOTA number EU118 and are in the Outer Hebrides. The group is the 2nd most wanted IOTA in the UK after Rockhall, where one of the 5 Flannan team members, Nobby G0VJG, spent several days in 2023. The Flannan expedition had been assigned the same call sign that activators used for Rockhall, MM0UKI. The team announced that the weather forecast compelled them to abandon the hoped-for activation, which was to have been calling QRZ from the 1st of August. The team had already faced an earlier challenge. They had to replace their original vessel, which had developed an engine fault. The boat skipper later told them that the window for favorable weather was insufficient for him to retrieve them safely, and they would therefore have to return home. They had planned to be on the air for 48 to 72 hours. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
In the world of DX, Gregor S53RA is active from the Maldives as HQ7GG until the 13th of August. He is operating QRP holiday style, mainly in the evenings, local time. He is using CW, SSB, and FT8. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Philip OD6MCX is on the air until the 12th of August as 8P9MC from Barbados. IOTA number NA021. He is operating a holiday style using CW, SSB, FT8, and FT4 on 40 to 6 meters QSL Direct 2 home call. Listen throughout August for stations with the suffix DOG as they publicize the 4th state of stray animal care across many countries. For the International Dog Day, which will be marked on the 26th of August, listen for K2D operating from various U.S. states. See dogdayradio.org for full details. Listen for SEP N4XTT operating holiday style is J6/N4XTT from St. Lucius, Iota number NA108 from the 10th through the 17th of August. He will be using CW, SSB, FT8, and FT4 on 40 to 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Luca IU3 MDI is active as ZA/IU3 MDI from Shkodër, Albania until the 17th of August. He is using CW, SSB, and FT8 on 40 to 10 meters. See QSL details on QRZ.com. Our final story for this week is about the enduring power of amateur radio and the enduring love of those who have a license for it. Meet a YL who has achieved recognition just as she turns 100 years old. Jim Dameron, N8TMW, introduces her to us.
If you tried to add up the number of ham radio operators in North Carolina who either got or upgraded their license after an exam supervised by volunteer examiner Dorothy McCracken, you might find the mathematics a bit challenging. You might also find it difficult to total how many hopeful radio operators received her guidance as a volunteer instructor. Along with her husband, Lewis, WA4MTY, who is now a silent key, Dot spent many years assisting those in the western Piedmont region who were ready to take their FCC tests and hopefully get on the air. According to her daughter, Janet, she also traveled all over the country with Lewis, giving license exams where their presence was needed. Dot, who now has the call sign AD4D, knows well how amateur radio can make a good life even better at the age of 100. Just days after reaching that 1-century milestone in July, Dot received one more. She was presented with a plaque from the ARRL's North Carolina section manager, Marv Hoffman, WA4NC. The plaque was inscribed with the section's Sugar Award, an acronym for Supporting, Upgrading, Growing Amateur Radio. First licensed in 1985 as Extra Class Operator KI4JM, she passed the 20-word per minute code part of the test at a time when women were not always viewed as proficient CW ops. She not only mastered CW, but went on to embrace portable operating, going camping with her husband and getting on the air. Now, after all those decades, Dot has received the equivalent of a very large QSL card from amateur radio itself. The plaque that hangs on the wall of her room in a North Carolina rehabilitation facility. It's the Sugar Award. And how sweet it is. This is Jim Dameron, N8TMW.
If a good day of radio is like poetry to you, pick up a pencil and join the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Share your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. Sorry, but we cannot accept any entries that aren't written in traditional haiku form. Share with fellow listeners the poetry that is inspired by your ham radio experience. With thanks to AMSAT News Service, ARRL, Eastern Pennsylvania Section, Amateur Radio Daily, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, Economic Times, 425, DX News, FCC, NASA, The Mountaineer, Marv Hoffman, WA4NC, NZNet News, QRZ.com, Radio World, shortwaveradio.de, the WRTC, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscasts, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen E. Murray, KD2GUT, the news desk in New York and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, NAWB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net start in about 10 minutes.
WGA is our break anyway.
W8VPV repeater. W8VPV repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators.
Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John and my call is W03X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until we're done. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been corresponded with, I will repeat the announcements and then give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. The band exploration net this evening will be on 10 meters on or about 28.360 megahertz upper sideband. Here are the announcements. Okay, the sign-up for the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club picnic is late this evening. So go to the website and fill out the form there and make your selections and mention how many total are going to be in your group. Again, that sign-up ends late this evening, so get on there and take care of that. The picnic is this Wednesday at Waterworks Park at the Shady Bend Pavilion. Let's see here. The Warren Hamfest is on Sunday the 18th. That's this coming Sunday. And it is in the Trumbull County Fairgrounds this year, whereas the last couple of years it was at Mosquito Lake State Park. So this year it's back to the fairgrounds where it was before it went to Mosquito Lake and also before it was in downtown Warren. Again, that's on the 18th, and it's on Everett Hall Road, Hull Road. And so they're supposedly going to have a lot of prizes there. I guess similar to what they had, what occurred with the Tusco Ham Fest this year. There were like 90 prizes. There's also a request from NTAD Dave about
an operator for the barometer net. I think the operator that they need is for Saturday mornings. So if anybody is interested in operating the barometer net, it's on the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association 2-meter repeater. It's on 147.39 megahertz with a PL tone of 114.8. But if you're interested in running a Saturday morning barometer net, that would be like every other Saturday, because they have another operator for the other Saturdays. So send an email to Dave. Let's see, where's yours? Okay. It's dspondyke@aol.com. So I'll spell that. DSPONDIKE@aol.com. That's dspondyke. And also, you could check into the net tomorrow evening. Their net starts at 8 o'clock on the 147.39 megahertz repeater, PL tone 114.8. And maybe mention that you'd be interested in that. The reason they need somebody now is because W8UA is not going to be available for that. He's been doing that for years, and he's not going to be available to do that at this time. If you have a drink or whatever preference for the picnic, maybe send Anthony an email. Reply to the emails that he has sent about the picnic. And again, I would recommend if you have a particular choice, then do that this evening. Otherwise, bring your own if what you want is unusual. So that's the story about the drinks for the picnic.
KHZT.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Please disregard what John just said. I'm not in charge of the picnic, and I will not be able to handle requests. So please, if you have anything to do, do it via the online form for the picnic, because I'm not the person in charge of that.
Okay, thanks for listening and catching that. Is there a spot on the sign up for something like that?
No, but if you have a special item, I would suggest you bring it. They're going to have a variety, but they can't have everything. So if there's something special you want to drink, BYOB, and remember, no alcohol at the park.
Okay, very good. You hear that, people? Bring your own. So there you go. Because it's just going to be ordinary drink. Drinks available, and non-alcoholic, and it's not allowed in the park either. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. The newsletter. The newsletter editor is going to be out of the country next month, so get your newsletter articles to him by August 31st. That's the cutoff. There's no he can't take them after that. So August 31st is the deadline for getting the newsletter articles to the newsletter editor, and so you send them to newslettereditor@cfarc.org. And newsletter editor is one word. the way of announcements. So are there any members or officers who have items of special interest for the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
W8EZT.
W8EZT, go ahead, Frank.
At the risk of beating the drink situation to death, we will have the leftover pop from the field day event. It's now currently in the refrigerator in the clubhouse. I believe it consists of some number of Pepsis and some number of cans of Diet Coke. We will have water and the typical drinks that show up in our meetings that Jim brings. He'll have whatever we have in stock for that, and probably some cookies or something. We're going to try to get through all of the drinks that we have and get those used, and then we'll start again. And we'll figure it out tomorrow for sure. But if you do have a preference and you want to drop me some email, you go ahead and do it to me. I'll keep track of it. My call, W8EZT@cfarc.org. We eventually want to keep what people want in the refrigerator anyway, so this is an opportunity to kind of figure out what we drink. That's all I got. Back to net W8EZT. Please check me in, John.
Okay, Frank, thanks. I have you checked in, and you hear that, people? If you need something different, send an email to w8EZT@cfarc.org and see if you can be accommodated. Otherwise, it's going to be, like Frank said, what we have at the meetings and what was left over from field day. Okay, are there any other officers or members who have items of special interest for the net?
KAZT.
KAZT, Anthony, go ahead.
I want to apologize for interrupting you there, but I didn't know if I was still going to be here by the time you got around to this, so I wanted to make sure that people knew that I wasn't the one taking the reservations. Again, if you do have a reservation to make sure you use the form so we know you're going to be there and they can judge how much to buy. That's it for me. See you at the picnic on Wednesday night. This is KCT.
Thanks, Anthony, and I have you checked in. So you hear that, people? Anthony is confirming what I said earlier, that the deadline is this evening for signing up for the picnic. So get on there and take a look at that form there and fill it out as good as you can, so we can have a good time at the picnic. And again, it's this Wednesday at the Shady Bend Pavilion at Waterworks Park. Okay, are there any other members or officers who have items of special interest? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Once again, W8EZT, and I'll get off the air.
Go ahead, Frank. That's okay.
I want to send out a special thank you to members of the club. This includes you, John, because you are always there. Whenever I put out the call for help, you're there to help, John. But just to thank you to everybody who helped last week, moving all of the equipment from our storage locker to the storage unit. We're now saving about $90 a month, and we have the equipment readily available to us as we need it. So thank you for coming out and doing that. Stay tuned. We're going to have lots of interesting things starting up in the clubhouse in the next couple of weeks. We want to get a ground system in and get an antenna up even before leaves start turning. If you want to see how a station goes together, come join us and we'll figure it out and make it happen. That's all I got. Back to net, W8EZT.
Yeah, very good, Frank. I have a question. When I'm talking on the repeater, is there any crackling and scratching and things like that in my signal? Over.
I'm not hearing anything right now.
Okay, well, then maybe you need some contact cleaner or something because for the last several weeks, your microphone or whatever has been doing that. It's crackly and stuff like that. Over?
There is crackling and popping and snapping. Rice Krispies on just about everybody. WA4WGA.
Just following up on Ray, I'm on a totally different radio and different microphone this time. I'm actually sitting in my car in my driveway with an HT held up. That is the symptom of the antenna, the Rice Krispie effect, having issues. And as you know, we have the replacement antenna. It's sitting up at the clubhouse now. It's just a matter of getting it set to go and then pick a weekend and put it up. I'm afraid that's the problem that we're going to see right now. The old antenna's been up there 40, almost 50 years. It's collinear. It's been beat around by the winds and probably taken some lightning hits. And we got to get up there and get it down and get a more stable antenna replaced to replace it. Could also be bad coax and a bad connector, but my money's on the antenna. All right, that's all I've got. I'm going to hand it back to you. I'm going to get in the house, and I'll be monitoring. W8ECT back to net.
Okay, Frank. Well, guess what? That transmission, there was just some fading slightly, but there was no crackling and popping, no Rice Krispie effect like Ray said there. So I guess it varies from time to time. Okay, thanks. And let's see. So let's see. Okay, so I have Ray signed in. We'll get back with you in a moment here, Ray. So are there any other officers or members who have items of special interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Go ahead, Vince. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Good evening, John, everybody on the net. I guess I'm on the 440 side. Doesn't matter. So, I guess gin is my drink of choice, but that's not allowed, so I will bring my own. As to the newsletter, yes, thank you, John, for making a comment about getting it in by the end of the month. The only other comment that I have that's important is read the last newsletter, especially at the end where it says, here's the guidelines for submission. Don't give me a whole bunch of pictures. I personally do not want a whole bunch of pictures because there's no context. Context is important. But that's my opinion. If somebody else wants to take over, they can. My opinion is context is important. Other than that, that's all I got, John. Thanks for running the net. Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar, back to net.
Okay, thanks, Vince. And you hear that, people? Context is important. So plan your newsletter editors, newsletter submissions accordingly. Okay, let's see. Are there any other members or officers who have items of special interest for the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Evening, John. WB8YYS, Greg in Kent.
WB8YYS. Go ahead, Greg.
Okay. Evening, John. Everybody on the net this evening. Hope everybody's out there enjoying the decent weather. Not much going on over here in the Tree City. Got a few things taken care of there to keep the basement from flooding out, so that's a good deal there. Looking forward to the picnic on Wednesday. I think I've got all the bases covered on that. I would like to ask somebody out there if you could come up with some sliced tomatoes, onions, and lettuce for the hamburgers there. If it's not imposing too much on somebody. Other than that, I think we've got all the bases covered. But it looks good, and looking forward to having a good time with the crew there as well. That's all I got there, John. I got another net I got to run off to here quick, fast, in a hurry, so look forward to seeing everybody there Wednesday. W8VPV, W8YYS. We'll see you later.
Okay, Greg, thanks for that. And Greg is asking if there's anybody that can provide sliced tomatoes and onions for the picnic. So keep that in mind for Wednesday. Okay, are there any other members or officers who have items of special interest for the club? Please call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
He also said right.
Okay, not hearing any. I'll now take check-ins. I need 4 more check-ins. Please call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor and let me acknowledge your calls one at a time. Okay, there was a double there, but KF8BFT, I heard your call sign, but were you in and out? Over?
That's affirmative. In and out and monitoring.
Okay, Bill, very good. Yeah, you have a good signal into the repeater. Another check-in, please.
AD8YAX, I did not get the second frequency.
Okay, Forrest, I have you logged in here. The frequency for the band exploration net this evening is 28.360 megahertz, upper sideband. That's 10 meters, of course. Okay, another check-in, please. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
K8HMS.
K8HMS, I have you on the log. We'll get back with you in a moment here. Another check-in, please.
KB8VHK, no traffic.
KB8VHK, I have you on the log. Are you in and out?
Yes, in and out.
Okay, I have you marked as in and out. And let's see, we'll go with one more check-in.
Whiskey 8 Kilo at Foxtrot Whiskey W8KFW.
Okay, W8KFW, we'll get back with you. Okay, Ray, WA4WGA, go ahead with your comments there.
Well, I would have jumped if he'd have said KBW. Given that WKBW is a rather infamous radio station in Buffalo, New York. And one of the reasons it is because in 1969, I think it was, or maybe it was 1968, they did their own adaptation of the War of the Worlds, only they modernized it and used, modern music, local commercials, local liners, and everything like that. I think the one thing that was missing, let me get a drop. I think the one thing that was missing was the amateur radio traffic. I don't think they did that on the WKVW adaptation. They did mention that it was an adaptation of the War of the Worlds, but that was pretty much it. And if you want to hear that adaptation, you can find it on archive.org. Now, as far as my health situation goes, we finally have one of many appointments to come down the line. I have at least one appointment in November that I know of, and I'm sure the rest will be in 2025, all things being equal. Don't know if I'm going to see the family or not, but otherwise that's going on. That's what's happening here. The walking is getting better in spite of my time at Akron General. Oh, what fun that was. Finding some interesting things on the cable. The talking TV is, I won't call it a godsend, although God had a hand in the developers that made the thing. That's it from here. W8VPV, WA4W.
Yeah, very good, Ray. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Hopefully those appointments will be beneficial for you, and it's good to hear that your walking ability is improving. So hope to hear you next week on the net. Let's see. So let's see. Vince was made his announcement, and Greg. Let's see, and Bill is monitoring, and Forrest KD8YAX is listening. So next is Steve K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, Steve, sounds good. Your signal was really noisy, but apparently an airplane or something went over and allowed your signal to bounce off of it up out of the valley. So you were real strong there for a little bit. Okay, we'll listen for you on 10 meters. this evening. Thanks for checking in, and we'll be listening for you later. Let's see here. So KB8VHK was in and out, and so let's see if W8KFW has any comments, or if he was also in and out. Go ahead if you're still in. Okay, Carl. You dropped out at the end there, and for a moment, toward the beginning of your conversation, your signal came way up. But I guess we're having a problem with the antenna at the repeater, so we have another antenna that we're going to prepare and install pretty soon. So your antenna 6 feet up is doing good enough there for us to hear you. So thanks for checking in, and hope to hear you next week. Okay, that's the bottom of the list. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
WTK.
KA8WTK, I have you. Another check-in, please.
KE8KVI, in and out.
KE8KVI, Ron, in and out. Another check-in, please.
Kilo 8, Bravo, India.
Kilo 8, Bravo, India. I have you on the log here, Bill. We'll get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please. Was that Kilo 8 AMX?
Yes, sir, John. That would be me.
Okay, we'll see you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
KE8GQR, keep the units out. No, in and out.
Okay, I got KE8TQR, and somebody doubled with you. Come on back, whoever doubled. You were in and out. I'd like to get your call sign.
November 8, Bravo, Alpha, Yankee, Ralph and Stowe, in and out.
Okay, Ralph, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, so let's see. Let's go up to Bill, KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
W8VPV, WTK. Good evening, John, and everybody else on the net. I have a weird request. Guys, Single sideband electronics years ago made a device called an LNC 1700, which is a down for getting weather satellite images off of the stationary satellites, weather satellites. I have one, and I have no documentation. If anybody out there ever played with an LNC 1700 and maybe has some documentation left, I'd sure appreciate a copy of it. Anyway, that's about it for here, John. Just want to know if you did happen to look up the little portable I was using on the 6-meter net last week. Back to net, W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill. Hopefully somebody was listening. LNC 1700 is what Bill's looking for. So let's see, how could somebody get back with you if they have it, Bill?
If they're a club member, I'm in the list, and it's got my email and everything right there.
Okay, so that's KA8WTK looking for LNC 1700 literature. Okay, thanks, Bill, and maybe we'll hear you on 10 meters. Okay, next, let's see, KE8KVI Ron was in and out, so next is Bill, KA8BI. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
Thank you, John, and good evening to you and everyone listening out there on the net. I don't really have a lot of news to report. I just wanted to say hello to everyone and wish everyone a good week coming up, and hopefully a little less rain this week than last week. Anyways, that's it from here in beautiful Cuyahoga Falls. So back to you, W8VPV, K8BI.
Okay, Bill, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, next is Dick K8AMX, American Motors Experimental. Go ahead with your comments. Okay, well, we just got a lot of noise there, but I can tell that you are living the dream there in downtown Firestone Park. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, let's see. Next is Keith, KE8TQR. Go ahead, Keith, with your comments.
Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is KE8TQR, Keith in Uniontown. Good evening, John. Thanks for taking my check-in, and good evening to everyone else here on the net. Well, I have to say, we've had some beautiful weather here the last couple of days, and it's been almost picture perfect. Been enjoying my time outside. Well, okay, enjoying might be the wrong word. I was mowing lawn. Well, I enjoy mowing the lawn. So the lawn is all done, front and back, so I got that chore out of the way. Did some painting on the one tower section today, and it's starting to look pretty good, and it's not going to be too much longer before I tilt that tower over to get the rest of the work done. So I'm looking forward to that. that's about all. Just want to wish everyone a great evening, great rest of the week, and I'll send this back to you, John. Fine job running the net tonight. Do appreciate it. And this is KE8TQR saying 73, and God bless. Oh, and look for me on 10 meters. I'll be there.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll switch to the beam antenna and point it in your direction. I already have it pointed in your direction there for that purpose. And so last time we did that, I was able to copy you very well. So I'll be hearing you this evening also. Thanks for checking in, and we'll hear you on 10 meters. Okay, next was N8BAY, and he was in and out, so we're at the bottom of the list. So I'll just go one at a time here now. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
Kilo Bravo 8, Victoria, Germany, X-ray, Stephen, Williamsfield, Ohio.
Go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor.
Very good. Just wanted to let you guys know that the repeater's doing very well, even though you guys are having antenna issues. You're in pretty well out here in international Cuyahoga County on the PA border. And was just kind of sitting back, listening and enjoying it, so I figured I'd jump in and wish everyone a good evening, and thank you for letting me into the net. Back to net, I believe it's W8VPV. Did I get that right? This is KB8VGX.
It's Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Let's see if I have your call sign right. I have you as Kilo Bravo 8, Victor, Quebec X-ray. Is that right?
Close. Victoria, Germany X-ray, Victor Golf X-ray. Roger.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down. Okay, Victor Golf X-ray. Okay, I got it. Thanks. Thanks for checking in, and have a good evening.
You.
Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. I'll take you one at a time now.
Hey, John, W8EZT here. I got a text from our secretary, Jim, KFA-ANO. He got called in to work tonight, so he could not check in, but asked me please put on the list as a check-in. So KF8, Alpha November, October. And that's all I got. Back to net W8EZT.
Okay, I have KF8-ANO checked in as number 18. Thanks, Frank, for relaying that information. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. I'll take them one at a time.
YIR, Kilo Echo 8, Yankee India Romeo, and John in and out tonight. This is Mark up in Hudson, 73.
Okay, Mark, up in Hudson, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. And I think maybe there was somebody else in there, too. Go ahead. Okay, I guess not. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. Okay, so the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club picnic is this Wednesday evening, and the sign-up for it, the deadline is this evening. So get on there and sign up for that, and make sure you put your choice of of your meat, and also mention what you're going to bring. Let's see. So again, that's late this evening. The form is right on the website, www.cfarc.org, and it's self-explanatory. There's a request from the chief of the barometer net that they need a net control operator for Saturday morning, for every other Saturday. And so if you can do that, if you can help out with that, that's on the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association repeater, which is on 147.39 megahertz with a PL tone of 114.8 hertz. Then send an email to Dave Spondike, NTAD. His email address is dspondike@aol.com. I'll spell that. That's DSPONDIKE@AOL.com. President Greg, WBAYYS, has a request if somebody can bring sliced tomato and onion to the picnic, maybe let him know by email. He would be president at cfarc.org. The Warren Hamfest is this coming Sunday, and this year it's back to the fairgrounds. Previous few years it was at Mosquito Lake State Park, but they're back to the fairgrounds where they were before they went to Mosquito Lake and also downtown Akron, downtown Warren, not downtown Akron. Okay, so that fairgrounds is on Everett Hall Road, and that's Everett, Hull Road. So look for that. The way that I get there is I go out 5, and then it becomes an expressway, and then I take the Elm Street exit and go north a little bit on that main road, and only like several hundred feet, and then turn left into a road that goes west for a little bit, and then maybe only a couple hundred feet, and then it curves to the north and goes right to the Hamfest there. So that's the story on that. But you can also go to W8VPV.org and see that that's Whiskey 8 Victor Tango Delta, and get further information that way. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements for now. There's going to be some activities in October. Oh, yeah, talking about activities. September 11th, that's a Wednesday, is CFARC to the field. And that has been a really fun activity. We go to parks in Summit County and set up operations, and we're doing it on the second Wednesday rather than the fourth Wednesday because of daylight. So I've operated in that every year that we had it and had a really good time. And so there may be a couple of warm-up sessions for that. So watch for that on the website. What the warm-up sessions are for to gain experience in setting up operation in the field like that. So watch for those, and if you're interested in attending one of those warm-ups, then go to it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is W03X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 20 check-ins counting myself and return the repeater to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:22 p.m. local time. 7-3.
Port link off. W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9.
Good evening, calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night Band Exploration Net. My name is John, and my call is W3X. That's Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. The band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. local time, preceded by the VHF-UHF net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. The frequency of the band exploration net is on a different band every week. So check our calendar, www.cfarc.org, and scroll down along the right side there to the date to see what the frequency is going to be. Next week we will be on 40 meters, on or about 7.187 megahertz. When checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you're checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then call for officers or members who have items of special interest to the club. After that, I'll ask for check-ins. We'll just go one at a time on this net here. On the VHF-UHF net, we take 5 and then go back and do the 5, but one at a time. But here I'll just ask for one at a time. Okay, so when all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements and give one last call for check-ins and then close the net. Okay, here are the announcements. Okay, the next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be an activity, and it will be this Wednesday, August 14th, and it's a picnic at the Waterworks Park, Shady Bend Pavilion. Now, there's a sign-up form online at www.cfarc.org. Fill that out now, because the deadline for that is late this evening. So if you don't fill it out by late this evening, then we won't have a count to tell how much food to buy for the picnic. Okay, and then let's see, another announcement is the Warren Ham Fest is this Sunday. It's at the Trumbull County Fairgrounds this year, like it was several years ago before it was at the Mosquito Lake State Park for a few years, and one time it was in downtown Warren. So go to W8VPV, that's Whiskey 8 Victor Tango Delta, to get further information on that Ham Fest. We have a special request from the leader of the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association barometer net. That net has been running for many decades, and I used to check into it. I checked into it for 20 years, and it's on the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association 2-meter repeater on 147.39 megahertz with a PL tone of 114.8 hertz. and that net runs Monday through Saturday morning. Each morning, Monday through Saturday. So they need a second operator for Saturday. So that would be every other Saturday or so. If you or you know somebody that would be interested in being the net control station for that net, send a message to Dave Spondike, NT8D, and his email address is dspondike@aol.com. I'll repeat that phonetically. Delta, Sierra, Papa, Oscar, November, Delta, India, Kilo, Echo, @aol.com. That's dspondike@aol.com. His call sign is NT8D. That's November Tango 8 Delta. And another thing regarding our picnic is that President Greg has requested that somebody notify him if they can bring a sliced tomato and onions to the picnic. So he can be contacted at president@cfarc.org. Let him know by email if you can bring that. That's president@cfarc.org. And regarding the newsletter, okay, Vince AC8XO has requested that people providing articles for the newsletter to read the guidelines for submission and not to supply a myriad of photographs that don't have any context related to them. So also he's going to be out of the country in September, so you have to send your articles to him by August 31st to get in next month's newsletter. August 31st is the deadline. Take care of that and read the guidelines before you submit an article to the newsletter editor. And you send your articles to newsletter editor at cfarc.org. Newsletter editor is one word. Okay, and then next month is an exciting activity, and that's CFARC to the field. What we do is on the second Wednesday of September every year, we go out to various Summit County metro parks, and we set up to operate on 10 meters, 2 meters, and the 440 band, and possibly 6 meters also. All those, and the 10 meter is part of the technician band, where a technician is permitted to operate. So a technician can operate all the bands that are in this CFARC to the field activity. Watch our website, www.cfarc, for a warm-up session or two. What that will be is there'll be somebody will be setting up an example station in the field, so you can get a real good idea of what you would be able to set up so that you too can participate from a park in C-Park to the field. Now the valid contacts are park to park, park to home, and home to park. So if you don't have the equipment to set up in the field, you can operate from home and make contact with others in the field. It runs for a few hours there, like say 4:30 to 7:30. That's why we have it on the second Wednesday instead of the fourth Wednesday, because the sun sets earlier on the fourth Wednesday than it does on the second Wednesday. So watch our website for a warm-up session or two, www.cfarc.org. I think that's all that I have for relevant announcements at this time. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for officers or members who have items of special interest to the club. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KA8WTK.
KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, not much different 2 meters, John. Just checking in, give you some numbers, and enjoy this wonderful weather while it lasts. KA8WTK, back to me.
Okay, Bill, very good. Thanks for checking in. 73. Have a good evening and enjoy this weather. Okay, another check-in, please.
KAPU.
KAPU, Larry. Oh, we didn't hear you on the VHF UHF net. What's going on there?
Oh, not much. Just didn't get home soon enough, and then we had to get something to eat, and I kind of missed it, but got it all whipped out behind me now. Yeah, like Bill said, enjoy the weather. It's really super, beautiful day today. And after the storm, my hand jack kind of got wet and ruined the carpet in it, so I had to get that out. And have to take care of that. That's a pain. Well, anyways, not much here. Look forward to seeing everybody you want to see at the picnic, John, so turn it back to you. W8VPV, KPU.
Okay, Larry. I was wondering, do you have a sump pump?
No, it's a rare event. All the years I've lived here, it's been about 3 or 4 times we actually had an event like that to have enough water come into the window wells. Floods outside, you just can't get rid of it fast enough, and it comes into window wells and just into the basement. But if it wasn't for something like that, I wouldn't need anything. Of course, it just runs down the drain. It wasn't like we got 2 or 3 inches of water from the basement. It just happened that it really comes in, and the ham jack's a lower place, and it kind of stood there enough to get the carpet all wet and make a mess. That's about it, John. KPU.
Okay. Yeah, before we moved in here, somebody did some kind of water treatment. It was, I saw signs of something called B-Dry, B-E-E dry. So that was mostly on the ends and the front. And so we had the foundation wall was looked like it was bowing in a little bit. I would measure, there was a space there that I measured with my calipers, and it would move like a couple thousand a month or so, and so when it got to 60,000, we called up somebody to take care of that, and they along with taking care of that, they put in a French drain, and they also put put these panels down along the bottom of the foundation inside, and so anything that comes through there ends up going into the sump pump. And so that day when we had here we got 4 3/4 inches. The sump pump was non-stop. It was just running and running that whole evening there. So it did the job. So stuff stayed dry here. Okay, Larry. So we'll see you at the picnic there, and I have you on the log here. So 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-in.
John, please check in W8VPV.
W8VPV. Go ahead, Frank.
You got me cracking up here, John. Measuring based on the wall shifting in thousandths of an inch at 60 thousandths. He called a guy in. I measure it in inches, and I'm lucky if it doesn't fall in on me. Anyway, yeah, I had my basement walls waterproofed a number of years ago, front and side, and they held up quite well despite a partially clogged up gutter. I'm not able to get up there right now. Maybe I'll do it tonight. I got a hornet nest I got to wipe out. But I did have some leakage on the back wall that I've known about for some time. Sounds like another excuse to get a new house or something. Anyway, don't have a lot to add from earlier. Looking forward to seeing people at the picnic, and other than that, we'll see you Wednesday. Back to that W8VPV.
Very good, Frank. I get these emails from Realtor.com, and they have these houses for sale, and there's one for sale. I guess it's I don't know what it is. I guess it's a manufactured home or something like that. But the price of it is less than a 2019 Chevy Suburban, and it's not far from that electronic place there on State Road. It's funny. You could buy that and move in there while your new house is being built. Over.
Wrong microphone again. Yeah, I think I'm going to be moving in my sister's. I'm going to be down there tomorrow talking to her about it. But it looks like her living tentatives decided to fly the coop, so I may be down there after a while then. Hopefully we'll get started on that next spring. We'll see what happens. I'm scrambling now. Back to that W8VPV. Looking forward to seeing everybody Wednesday.
Okay, Frank. Very good. See you Wednesday. Thanks for checking in, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-in. KEA-TQR, I flipped to the beam antenna. Go ahead, Keith, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor.
Thanks for running the next night, and we'll talk to you later. 58 TQR.
Okay, Keith, very good. I could hear you there on your antenna, but when I flipped to the antenna, the directional antenna, your signal came way up. So very good. You have a real good signal here. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the non-directional antenna. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-in. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-in. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-in. Okay, so the deadline to sign up for the picnic, which is this Wednesday, August 14th, the deadline is this evening. So fill out that form there. It's self-explanatory, and get that set up so you can go to the picnic. Okay, let's see. So we have a request from Dave, NTAD, who's the master of the barometer net at this time, and what they need is an alternate operator for the barometer net on Saturday morning. W8UA is his circumstances have changed to where he can't run that net on Saturday anymore. He had been doing that for years, but he can't do it. So they need an alternate operator for Saturday morning. So if you can do that, or you know somebody that can do it, and they tell you that they can do it, then send an email message to Dave, NTAD, at, here's his email address, dspondyke@aol.com. I'll spell that for you. That's Delta, Sierra, Papa, Oscar, November, Delta, India, Kilo, at AOL. Kilo Echo, DSPONDIKE at AOL.com. That's the story on the Saturday morning barometer net. That net runs Monday through Saturday every morning. Let's see here. This Sunday, August 18th, is the Warren Ham Fest, and this year it's back to the Trumbull County Fairgrounds. They are just off of Everett Hall Road. That's Everett, Hull Road. They were there before they started having it at Mosquito Lake State Park and in downtown Warren. There's supposedly going to be numerous prizes, similar to what went on at the Tusco Ham Fest recently. Let's see. So go to their website at W8VPV. That's Whiskey 8 Victor Tango Delta, and to get the talk-in frequency and so forth for that, and possibly some directions. Okay, and then this exciting news here. The Seafark to the Field. We've done this for a few years now, and we're going to have it again this year. This year it will be on Wednesday, September 11th We have it on the second Wednesday of the month rather than the fourth Wednesday of September because of the sunset. So what this is you set up and operate on 10 meters, 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters, making contacts, as many as you can, on frequencies that technicians can use. Technicians can use all these frequencies that we have that set up for. So again, that's September 11th. Now there may be a warm-up session or two, so watch the website, and what the warm-up session does is it shows you what you need to be able to set up in the field to operate during this activity. Now, if you don't have anything where you can operate in the field, the CFARC to the field valid contacts are park to park, park to home, and home to park. So you can be at home and make contacts with operators, with participants in the parks, and make those would be valid contacts. So, but if you would like to operate in the field, watch for the warm-up sessions on our website. There may be two warm-up sessions. www.cfarc.org. Okay, let's see here. So, sign up for the picnic is, deadline is this evening. Our newsletter editor is going to be out of the country next month, so you need to get your articles to him no later than August 31st. And he has requested that before you send him articles, to read the submission guidelines. In particular, the pictures. He doesn't just want a bunch of pictures that have no context. So read his guidelines there, and then send him articles in accordance with those guidelines. And again, like I said, August 31st is the deadline for that. So we have a deadline this evening for signing up for the picnic. Don't forget. And President Greg, president at CFARC.org, has requested for somebody to let him know if they can bring sliced tomatoes and sliced onions to the picnic this Wednesday. Send him a message. That's president at CFARC.org to let him know if you can do that. Okay, let's see. No more announcements. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-in. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-in. Let me go to the directional antenna again, and I'll give a last call for check-in on that. Okay, I gave that a little tune up there. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-in. Okay, I'm going to go back to the omnidirectional antenna. Okay, in preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. local time. Next week, the frequency will be on 40 meters on or about 7.187 megahertz lower sideband. As mentioned, please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is W8VPV, that's Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray. And it has been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal, customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 10:01 p.m. local time with 5 check-ins counting myself. Remember, sign up for that picnic tonight. That's the deadline. Sign up for the picnic tonight. This is W8VPV clear.
path.
p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is NOAA Weather Radio KDO94 originating from the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Cleveland. We supply the latest available information for Northeast Inland Ohio over KDO94 from Akron on a frequency of 162.400 MHz. On the latest weather map,
Canada. Coordinated Universal Time, 2 hours, 12 minutes. 2 heures, 12 minutes.
De nosso Senhor e apóstolo Cristo. Ação, em suas épocas determinadas, há de ser revelada pelo bendito e único soberano, o Rei dos Reis e Senhor dos Senhores, o único que possui imortalidade, que habita em luz inacessível, a quem homem algum jamais viu, nem é capaz de ver.